we have a book. There are quite a few books that have been written about the Tea Party movement. We have marched on DC, we've organized, we've affected elections, and we're continuing to hold our government accountable. And one thing that we've learned is, despite winning so many seats in the House of Representatives in 2010, we knew that it didn't stop on Election Day. And we've learned that it really truly doesn't stop then. The politicians will do everything they can to hold on to the power, and it's up to us as people, the people who elect them, to hold them accountable. And that's what we've worked so hard to do. In December and January of 2009 and 2010, before we even a full year old, we started asking for feedback from coordinators around the country on where they wanted to see this Tea Party movement go. We'd had protests on Tax Day. We'd had the 9/12 March in DC. We had started coming out about health care and were at the event that Michelle Bachmann called everyone to the lawn of the Capitol Forum. Many of you were here that day. And we were saying, okay, where do we go now? What do you want us to do? What do you want us to focus on? Through the feedback from all of that, and we had over 8,000 people reply, we came up with a goal for Tea Party Patriots, and it was a long-term goal, it wasn't a short-term goal. We have our core values of fiscal responsibility, constitutionally limited government, and free markets. To truly affect change, we realized that we were going to have to instill those values in the hearts and minds of Americans. And it couldn't just be 20, 30% of Americans, and it couldn't even just be 50% of Americans. It had to be over 60%. Because that way, when people go to vote, they'll vote based on our core values. They'll take those with them, and they'll know them instinctively. They'll know that this is what's important, this is what makes America great. It's our Constitution, it's free markets, capitalism. Being responsible with the money that the people give to Washington, D.C., or allow to be taken from them to be sent to Washington, D.C. And if we can do that and instill it in the hearts and minds of over 60% of Americans, then it allows for, when there's a bad person who maybe does agree with your core values, but they've got some other issues, you might wind up voting for the better person just because they're a better person, or your neighbor's running for office. So it allows for a little bit of fluctuation in the elections, yet it still ensures that we're voting for our core values and for our Constitution. And that's how we came up with this goal, which was the basis of our book. And we did it because of people, just like you guys who are sitting here today, who've been to so many of our events and are organizing and spreading this message around the country. We did it because of your feedback, and we did it to spread that message further around the country. And there are 5 different paths that we think can be used to achieve this goal: economic, education, political, judicial, and culture. And each one is laid out in the book. And then at the end of the book, we talk about how these are our ideas and what we think is a way to achieve these goals, but what do the people in this movement think? Because we came up with a goal from people around the country who helped us come up with it. And we realized that the plan, while we've worked through it and we've fleshed it out and put it down on paper, it may not be the right one. And together as Americans, we can come up with the right one. So we encourage people to read the book. Let us know what you think. Go to teapartypatriots.org and let us know if we're on the right track or if we're not on the right track. And where we're not, we can work together to figure out how we can continue to move forward. And where we are, we can work together to make those things happen. And that's what the book is about. And I think it's just a celebration of this entire movement. And I'm very honored to be here today. I appreciate your time. Thank you.